BFDI is known for its competition, but every once in a while there will be non-competition episodes. It gives us time to focus on storylines and adventures, and I'm gonna see how these storylines and adventures rank amongst each other to determine which episode of BFDI is the best in terms of non-competition. So let's get this ranking started. Yeah, it's no shocker that Teapot 18 is last on this list. There is a competition in this episode, but it doesn't relate to the season at all. I wouldn't call this a terrible episode, but it's literally just nothing. I just don't give a crap that Lollipop lost her credit card. There are a couple good jokes in here, but overall, Teapot 18 just fails to have any sort of substance. The only post-split characters who do anything later on are Bubble, Ruby, Match, and Loser. Bubble, Ruby, and Match go to find Pencil along with X, and Loser goes to find Winner, but he already did so. The animation looks nice, but I'm still giving this episode a 4 out of 10. Now, the rest of these episodes on the list are pretty good, but Teapot 20 has to get the short end of the stick. Let me start off with all my positives for this episode. First, I really like that this episode dives into one's backstory, and how she got trapped into the moon, and also how that affected the future later on. This episode also had its own soundtrack, and it's pretty good. Radical Cats is an easy favorite of mine though. Also, the animation is insanely good. Teapot just feels alive compared to its earlier episodes. Also, Leafy Rage Baiting 1 was absolutely hilarious. It was by far the funniest part of the episode, no doubt. This episode has flaws though. Firstly, the middle portion of this episode really drags, since it just gives us information that we already know, like one kidnapping Bommy, Belle, Needle, Barf Bag, etc. And it just gives us the scenes of them talking to one. There's also a weird mischaracterization moment with 4 in this episode.
No, I can't let you hurt anyone else, not X.
Little backstory, back when this episode released, I used to say it was the best episode ever of this show. I kinda take it back. I mean, it's good, but as the flaws I said, it's not perfect. But overall, Teapot 20 is a fun time with a fun little one backstory, some good humor, really good animation, and just a really fun time overall. I have nothing else to say. This episode will be getting a 7 out of 10. In 5th place, I have BFDIA 21. This is the episode where we find out there's gonna be a new host of BFDIA, and it's Leafy. I'll just get this out of the way. The reveal at the end where it's Leafy is pretty predictable, but it kinda makes sense, so it's not a super big deal. Anyways, there's 2 storylines in this episode. One of them is about Pin and Leafy trying to get this yellow tomato, and another one being about Golf Ball, Rocky, Bommy, Yellowface, and Nickel trying to get out of Evil Leafy. The Pin and Leafy storyline was pretty fun. It was neat seeing Pin and Leafy find this yellow tomato that Leafy needed to get the metal out of her, and I like how they shared their lives with their friends. The other one was pretty fun too, since it brought some of the best jokes of this episode. Now on to the animation aspect for this episode. It's amazing. The lighting with Pin and Corny's conversation is fantastic, and I also like the smooth movements overall in the episode. The humor is also consistently funny in this episode. The Coiny's left arm gag got me so hard.
Also with 1 vote are Dome, Closet Door, Basket, Coiny's left arm.
I don't think this episode is like outstanding or anything, but it's just a really fun time. I'll be giving this episode a really solid 8 out of 10. Moving on. Next up is Teapot 22. I've reviewed this episode before on this channel, so I'll make this one snappy. It's neat seeing what the eliminated contestants are up to, and some of them got deserved spotlight for this episode. The animation also hits pretty hard, especially with the lighting and aesthetic of the city that the eliminated contestants discover. Also, Battle for Nothing returns. Let's go! The humor lands pretty well, the story was simple but fun, and I really have nothing negative to say about it. I just think the other 3 above it have stronger positives. That's all I have to say for this episode. I'll be giving it a 9 out of 10. IDFB is truly an experience. Since BFDIA finished, they're definitely gonna continue this season. Anyways, the episode is great. The comedy, the writing, the theories you can make out of this episode, it's amazing. While the animation isn't the best, I like the darker shade at the museum with golf ball and tennis ball. Also, the fact that it is a non-competition season is great. It allows for more character dynamics outside of the competition. I also like that this season takes place in Yo-Yo City. It can allow for some more world building. It got explored a lot in BFDIA 13, which I will talk about later, but I think this city can be explored more. Hopefully IDFB 2 can live up to this one. 9 out of 10. Finally, the best non-competition Teapot episode has just arrived at our doorsteps. Teapot 11 is not only amazing not just because of the scale of adventure it takes, but the concept alone. An episode about the Exiters escaping 4? Dude, sign me up. 4 taking on a more villainy role for this episode does fit here for this episode since he's always hated the Exiters. I can't forget about the intro for this review though. The intro is fantastic. It's amazing, it's colorful, it's animated well, it has good music, and it gives a sense on what the episode will be about. While I really like the animation, I think the comedy is more consistent.
What was that? Food fight!
I also really enjoy how all the plots culminate together in the end, with each Exeter group getting the items to escape 4 that they got on their own little trips. It makes all these storylines not worthless. I also like how they got out of 4 at the end of the episode as well. Teapot 11 is legendary. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it's in my top 10 of the whole show. It's a really good episode. I'll be giving it a 9.3 out of 10. Good job, Jack and Jellify. BFDIA 13. I remember the first minute this episode came out. I tuned it in at my summer camp in 2024. When I went into it, I didn't expect much, but after I watched it, I was shocked. This episode's one of the best episodes of the show. First off, this episode solves a plot hole, that being how the characters in the LOL got their designs changed to live up to the present day, and they did it in a pretty funny way. Also, I like how this episode sets up for episode 14 of the season, that being how Teardrop, Dora, Puffball, Match, and Donut got their islands for the challenge. Remember how I said in the IDFB 1 segment when Yo-Yo City got explored more in this episode? It did, and in a pretty good way. I like the bakery in Yo-Yo Stadium. The comedy is pretty good too, but this joke is probably my favorite. The animation is probably my favorite part about the episode though. It's really good. The lighting is really good, and I like the movements a lot. That scene with Fiery in the tree gives such a cozy feeling. The lighting is so good. I also really like the Coin Pin storyline in this episode. Coiny tries to get Pin's limbs back, and her face, and her size. The scene where Coiny fails hits me really hard. The only thing holding this episode back from a 10 out of 10 is that we see compacted Pin again, and I really hate those designs. But all in all, BFDIA 13 is a really fun time, and there's a reason why it's my favorite non-competition episode in all of BFDI. I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10.